Before we enter Area 51, drop a comment telling me if you believe GREYS could be future humans. And if this story makes you question everything you know about aliens, hit that like button. Subscribe for more classified military encounters with the truth they don't want you to know. Now, let's discover who the GREYS really are. I am Captain James Mitchell, serving in the United States Army Delta Force. And I want to tell you the truth about Area 51, about what has actually been hidden there since 1947, about why the government has not told people the truth about Roswell for over 76 years, about what those objects really are. They're not aliens. They're not from another planet. They're not an extraterrestrial species that crashed in the New Mexico desert. They're us. Future humans evolved over 1 million years, and in January 2024, I helped 12 of them escape from the facility where our government had been imprisoning and experimenting on them for 3/4 of a century. But that decision cost 8 of my teammates their lives. 4 killed by the GREYS defending themselves. 4 more killed by their own brothers in arms. Because when my team discovered the truth about what we'd been sent to kill, we split. 6 wanted to follow orders. 6 of us refused to commit genocide against our own descendants. I was one of the 6 who refused. And this is what happened. January 15th, 2024. I was woken at 0300 hours by an encrypted call. Code red emergency deployment. No details over phone. Report to Edwards Air Force Base immediately. I lived in Los Angeles at the time, off-duty rotation. Made it to Edwards in 90 minutes. There were 11 other operators waiting, not all Delta. I recognized Lieutenant Sarah Reeves from SEAL Team 6, Sergeant Marcus Chen from 75th Ranger Regiment. The others were a mix, Delta, SEALS, Rangers. The best of the best from multiple branches. Whatever this was, it required serious firepower. A colonel I'd never seen before briefed us in a secure room. No name given, no unit identification. At 0145 hours, we received a code red alert from a classified facility in Nevada. Containment breach. Multiple extraterrestrial biological entities escaped from holding. Your mission is simple. Enter the facility. Neutralize or recapture all EBEs, secure the breach point, and maintain absolute operational security. Rules of engagement. Lethal force authorized. No survivors if containment cannot be guaranteed. EBES, Extraterrestrial Biological Entities. Military speak for aliens. How many? I asked. 15 entities escaped, unknown. How many remain in facility? Expect hostiles. These beings have killed 3 facility personnel during the breach. We were wheels up within 20 minutes. Blackhawk to an unmarked location in the Nevada desert. As we approached, I saw it through the window. Area 51, Groom Lake. The most famous secret facility in America. The place conspiracy theorists had been obsessing over for decades. Turns out they were right to obsess. We landed at 0600 hours. Sunrise was breaking over the desert. Beautiful and surreal. And we were about to descend into a facility that supposedly held beings from another world. The entrance was a reinforced blast door built into the side of a mountain. It opened onto an elevator shaft that descended straight down. The colonel handed me a tablet showing the facility layout. 50 levels, each level approximately 30 feet of vertical descent. Total depth, 1,500 feet underground. The breach had occurred on level 47. That's where we'd start. Levels 1 through 20 are administrative and research, the colonel explained. Levels 21 through 40 are containment and observation. Levels 41 through 50 are high-security housing for the most dangerous entities. The breach originated on 47. We believe most of the escaped EBEs are still in the facility, hiding in the lower levels. Sergeant Martinez, our ranger medic, asked the question we were all thinking. What exactly are we dealing with? What species? What capabilities? The colonel pulled up a photograph on a screen, and I saw them for the first time. GREYS, the classic alien image everyone knows. Large heads, disproportionate to their small bodies. Huge black eyes. Gray skin. 4 feet tall. Thin limbs. Exactly what every alien conspiracy theory describes. We call them Type A EBs, the colonel said. Recovered from Roswell, 1947. Highly intelligent, telepathic capability suspected. Physically weak, but unpredictable when cornered. Treat them as extremely dangerous. We descended in the elevator, the 12 of us, plus 2 facility scientists who would guide us through the complex. Dr. Patricia Warren, head of the EBE research program, and Dr. Michael Chen, xenobiology specialist. The elevator ride took 5 minutes, dropping 1,500 feet into the earth, into a facility that had been operating in secret since 1954, into the place where America had been hiding its greatest secret. We exited on level 47. The hallway was dark, emergency lighting only, and it was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that meant something was wrong. The breach occurred in Containment Cell 47A, Dr. Warren explained. 15 Type A entities were housed there. They somehow disabled the electromagnetic locks and overpowered 3 security personnel. Took their access cards, opened other containment cells. We estimate 20 to 30 entities are now loose in the facility. We moved in tactical formation, night vision active, weapons ready, standard room clearing procedures. But nothing about this was standard. At the end of the hallway, we found the first bodies. The 3 security personnel the colonel had mentioned, and the way they died was disturbing. Not shot, not stabbed. They looked like they'd died of massive brain hemorrhages. Blood from their eyes, nose, ears. Telepathic attack, Dr. Chen said quietly. The Type A entities can generate focused psychic energy, overload the human nervous system. We've seen it in controlled testing, but never at this intensity. Lieutenant Reeves looked at the bodies. So they can kill with their minds. Why didn't you mention that in the briefing? Because it's never been weaponized before, Dr. Warren replied. They've been docile, cooperative. This is completely unprecedented behavior. We pressed deeper into level 47, found Containment Cell 47A. The door was open. The electromagnetic locks were indeed disabled, but not from outside, from inside, which meant the GREYS had technology or abilities we didn't know about. Inside the cell were beds, medical equipment, restraints, and on the walls, scratched into the metal, were symbols, not English, not any language I recognized, but they had a pattern, a meaning. What do these symbols say? I asked Dr. Chen. He looked uncomfortable. We're not entirely sure. They've been marking the walls for years. We think it's a form of mathematics, or maybe a language we don't understand yet. We heard sounds from deeper in the complex. Movement, soft footsteps. Something was down there. Corporal Walsh took point. Moved into the next corridor, and that's when we made first contact. A GREY stepped out from a side passage, 4 feet tall, large head, big black eyes staring at Walsh. It raised its hands, not threatening, more like surrender, or plea. Walsh fired, 3 rounds, center mass. The GREY went down, and from the darkness ahead, we heard screaming. Not human screaming, higher pitched, anguished, the sound of others crying out for their fallen companion. 6 more GREYS appeared, moving fast, faster than their small bodies suggested they could move. They weren't attacking, They were running, fleeing, terrified. "Engage," Lieutenant Reeves ordered. We opened fire. Took down 2 more GREYS, but the others scattered, disappeared into side passages, and I saw something in their eyes as they ran. Not hostility, not aggression, fear. Pure, desperate fear. We secured the area. Martinez moved to examine the GREY Walsh had shot. Checked for vitals. "It's dead," she confirmed. Then she paused. "Wait, I need to do a field examination. Something's wrong." "What do you mean wrong?" I asked. Martinez cut open the GREY's chest with a field knife. Not a full autopsy, just enough to see internal organs. And what she found made no sense. "These are human organs," she said. Her voice was shaking. "Heart, lungs, liver. Different proportions, different sizes, but structurally human. Captain, this isn't an alien. The anatomy is too similar to us." Dr. Warren tried to intervene. "Sergeant, that's classified information. I need to understand what I'm shooting at," Martinez snapped. She pulled out a tissue sample kit, collected cells from the GREY's organs. "I'm running a DNA test. We have field equipment. This will take 20 minutes. We set up a defensive position while Martinez ran her analysis. The rest of the team searched the surrounding rooms, found more evidence of the GREY's imprisonment. Cells, restraints, medical equipment that looked more like torture devices, and documents. Research files that Dr. Warren tried to confiscate, but Sergeant Chen grabbed first. "Project Aquarius," Chen read aloud. "Biological analysis of type A EBE specimens. Jesus Christ. They've been dissecting these things, live vivisection, no anesthesia, for decades." Dr. Warren's face was pale. That research was necessary to understand their biology, to determine if they posed a threat to... "You tortured them," Chen interrupted. "For 76 years. That's what these files say. 76 years of experiments." Martinez's field computer beeped. DNA analysis complete. She looked at the screen. Her face went white. "Captain," she said quietly, "you need to see this." I walked over, looked at the results, and my blood ran cold. DNA match to Homo sapiens, 99.7% human. "That's impossible," I said. "How can an alien species be 99.7% genetically identical to humans?" Martinez was shaking. "It can't. There's no evolutionary path that produces this kind of similarity unless..." She looked up at me. "Unless they're not aliens. Unless they are human. Just changed. Evolved. Different." Dr. Warren was backing away, reaching for her radio, but Specialist Brown grabbed her wrist. "Don't," he said. "We need answers, real answers. What the hell are these things?" Warren looked at Dr. Chen. Some kind of silent communication. A decision being made. Finally, she spoke. "They're not from another planet," she admitted. "They're from another time. The 1947 Roswell Incident wasn't an alien spacecraft. It was a time displacement event, a wormhole. And what came through weren't extraterrestrials. They were humans. From approximately 1 million years in our future. Evolved, changed, but still genetically human. That's why the DNA matches. They're our descendants." Silence. Complete silence. 12 Special Forces operators trying to process what we'd just heard. GREYS weren't aliens, they were us, future us, evolved over 1 million years. And the United States government had known since 1947, had imprisoned them, experimented on them, tortured them for 76 years. "Why?" Martinez asked. Why keep this secret? Why not tell the world? Because it changes everything, Dr. Warren said. Religion, science, history. If the public knew that aliens were actually future humans, that time travel was real, that our evolutionary path was already determined, society would collapse. So we kept it secret, studied them, tried to understand what we'd become. Sergeant Hayes spoke up. And what you learned? Dr. Warren pulled up files on her tablet, showed us images. Greys with wires attached to their heads. Greys strapped to tables, greys in cages. We learned they're more advanced than us in every way. Telepathic, enhanced perception, longevity measured in centuries, intelligence far beyond human norms. Their technology is 1,000,000 years ahead of ours, and they're peaceful. In 76 years, despite everything we've done to them, they've never shown aggression. Until today. Can you blame them? Private Jackson said. You've been torturing them for 3 generations. They finally fought back. That's not aggression, that's self-defense. The radio crackled. Command checking in. Team lead, status report. Have you secured the EBEs? I looked at my team. At the dead Gray Martinez had examined. At the DNA results showing 99.7% human. At the research files documenting decades of torture. And I made a decision that would cost half my team their lives. Negative, I replied. We need more time. Complex situation. We'll report when we have full assessment. I clicked off the radio before command could respond. We need to talk, I said to the team. All of us. About what we do next. Because if these are humans, our own descendants, then we're not on a capture mission. We're on an execution mission. Genocide of our own species. And I need to know if you're all comfortable with that. The looks on my teammates' faces told me this mission had just become something none of us were trained for. We weren't fighting aliens anymore. We were being asked to kill the future. To murder our own descendants because they'd dared to escape 76 years of torture. And half my team was about to decide that following those orders was more important than mercy. We gathered in a secure room on level 47. 12 Special Forces operators, 2 government scientists, and a question that could change everything we thought we knew about reality. Are we willing to kill future humans because they escaped their prison? Lieutenant Reeves spoke first. It doesn't matter what they are. We have orders. Recapture or neutralize, that's the mission. Personal feelings don't change operational parameters. Personal feelings, Martinez shot back. Sarah, these are humans. The DNA proves it. 99.7% match. They're our descendants. Killing them is genocide. They killed 3 facility personnel, Corporal Walsh argued. Used some kind of psychic attack. They're dangerous regardless of their DNA. Sergeant Chen pulled up the research files he'd grabbed. They killed 3 people after 76 years of torture. Look at these experiments. Vivisection without anesthesia. Sensory deprivation for decades. Forced breeding attempts. They didn't attack humanity. They defended themselves against captors. That's not our call to make, Reeves insisted. We're soldiers. We follow orders. Command says neutralize, we neutralize. We don't get to decide national security policy. I watched the team split in real time. Reeves, Walsh, Cooper, Jackson, Kim, and Foster. 6 operators who believed in orders above all else, following the chain of command regardless of the moral implications. Chen, Martinez, Hayes, Brown, Moore, and me. 6 who couldn't reconcile killing future humans with our conscience. We need more information, I decided. Before we make any final decisions, we need to understand the full picture. Dr. Warren, where are the original 1947 files? The Roswell Incident documentation. Everything from the beginning. Dr. Warren hesitated. Level 52, the archive level, but that's beyond our clearance. Beyond my clearance. Only a handful of people have access to the original documentation. Take us there anyway, I ordered. We're already in the facility. Might as well get the complete truth. We descended deeper, levels 48, 49, 50. The facility got older as we went down. The upper levels were modern, built in the 80s and 90s. But down here, we could see the original 1954 construction. Concrete and steel, built during the Cold War to hide America's greatest secret. Level 52 was different from the others. Instead of containment cells and laboratories, it was archival. Rows of filing cabinets, sealed boxes, and in the center, a vault with a biometric lock. Dr. Chen used his override credentials. The vault opened. Inside were files dating back to 1947. The original Roswell Incident reports. And they were nothing like the public story. I pulled out the first document, classified, Cosmic Top Secret, Project Sign, July 1947. On July 4th, 1947, at approximately 0300 hours, a massive energy discharge was detected over Roswell, New Mexico. Initial reports suggested aircraft crash. Recovery team found impact site at 700 hours. No debris from conventional aircraft. Instead, found evidence of spatial temporal distortion. Wormhole event suspected. The report continued. 4 biological entities recovered alive. Initial assessment, extraterrestrial origin. Subsequent analysis revealed impossible finding. Entities show 99.6% genetic similarity to Homo sapiens. Further investigation required. There were photographs. The crash site, the wormhole's aftermath, and the 4 GREYS they'd recovered, terrified, injured, surrounded by military personnel pointing guns. Martinez was reading another file. Listen to this. This is from 1948. Linguistic analysis of entity vocalizations has yielded breakthrough. Entities are not speaking unknown alien language. They are speaking highly evolved derivative of English. Approximately 1 million years of linguistic drift. Mathematics suggests entities originated from Earth's distant future, not extraterrestrial source. They knew, Chen said. From 1948, they knew these weren't aliens. They knew they were future humans, and they kept it secret. I found another document. This one from 1950. Project Aquarius approved. Objective: determine evolutionary path of Homo sapiens. Study future human biology, technology, and capabilities. Maintain absolute secrecy. Public disclosure would cause societal collapse. And then the experiments began. 76 years of torture in the name of science. Why didn't they just ask? Brown said quietly. These are intelligent beings. They could communicate. Why not just ask them about the future instead of cutting them apart? Dr. Warren looked ashamed. We tried, in the early years, but they wouldn't cooperate, wouldn't share technology, wouldn't explain their purpose here, so the methods became more aggressive. And over decades, the original purpose was lost. It just became routine, experimentation for the sake of data collection. We heard sounds from the corridor, movement, multiple entities. The GREYS had followed us down. "Defensive positions," Reeves ordered. We set up at the vault entrance, weapons ready, waiting. 6 GREYS emerged from the stairwell, moving slowly, hands raised, the universal gesture of peace, but this time they didn't run when they saw us. One stepped forward, larger than the others, maybe the leader. It looked at me with those huge black eyes, and I felt something. a pressure in my head, not painful, more like someone trying to get my attention. Then the images came, not spoken words, visual communication, telepathy. The gray was showing me something. I saw the future, their time, 1,000,000 years from now. Earth was beautiful. Cities that floated in the sky, oceans restored, forests covering continents. Humanity had survived, thrived, evolved into something magnificent. I saw their mission. They were anthropologists, time travelers studying their own evolutionary history. They'd come to 1947 to observe early modern humans, to document the critical period before humanity either destroyed itself or reached for the stars. But the wormhole had malfunctioned, collapsed, stranded them in the past with no way home. And instead of being greeted as long-lost descendants, they'd been imprisoned, tortured, treated like animals. The vision shifted. I saw what they'd endured. 76 years in cells, experiments, pain, isolation, watching their companions die one by one, going from 24 individuals in 1947 to 15 in 2024. Nearly a decade of extinction through captivity, and finally I saw what they wanted. Not revenge, not violence, just freedom. A chance to live whatever life they could in this time period. A chance to stop being victims. The telepathic connection ended. I stumbled back. The other Greys were doing the same thing, showing visions to my teammates, communicating the only way they could, trying to make us understand. Martinez was crying. Oh God, what we've done to them, what we've been doing for 76 years. Chen looked shaken. They're not hostile. They've never been hostile. They're just desperate, trapped in our time, prisoners for 3/4 of a century. But Reeves was unmoved. Psychic manipulation. They're showing us what they want us to see, making us sympathetic. It's a survival tactic. Or it's the truth, Hayes countered. Sarah, you saw what I saw. That future, that beautiful Earth, that's what we become if we survive, and we're about to murder the people who prove we make it. The Grey leader made a sound, not words, but somehow I understood. A plea. Let them go. Let them vanish into the world. They'd hide, stay secret, never reveal themselves, just wanted to be free. Walsh raised his weapon. They're manipulating us. Can't you see that? They're hostile entities using advanced techniques to make us lower our guard. We need to complete the mission. Stand down, Corporal, I ordered. Sir, with respect, you're compromised. They've gotten into your head. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly than I ever have, I replied. These are humans, our descendants, and I'm not going to be part of genocide because the government is afraid of the truth. That's when Lieutenant Reeves made her move. She triggered her emergency beacon, called for backup. Command, this is Team Lead Actual. Team compromise suspected. Request immediate reinforcement and extraction. Hostile entities have used psychic manipulation on team members. Need. Sergeant Chen tackled her. Knocked the radio from her hand. What are you doing? We need to think about this. I'm following orders, Reeves shouted. What we're supposed to do. The Greys panicked, thought we were attacking. One of them, instinctive defense, generated that psychic pulse Martinez had described. The wave of telepathic energy hit Corporal Foster. She screamed. Blood from her eyes, nose, ears, dropped dead instantly. Walsh opened fire, killed the Grey who'd attacked Foster, but it was clearly self-defense. The Grey had panicked, hadn't meant to kill, but Foster was dead regardless. More Greys came from the stairwell. 15 total now, all the escapees, cornered, terrified, some generating defensive psychic pulses, others just trying to shield the younger ones. Private Kim fired. Hit one of the smaller GREYS, it went down. The others cried out. That same anguished sound we'd heard earlier. Grief, loss, human emotions from supposedly alien beings. "Cease fire!" I shouted. "Everyone stand down!" But the chaos had started. Cooper fired at a GREY, missed, hit the wall. The GREY retaliated with a psychic pulse. Cooper's head snapped back. Hemorrhage. Dead before he hit the ground. 2 GREYs dead, 2 SF dead, and the situation was spiraling out of control. Martinez pulled her sidearm. But she didn't point it at the GREYs, she pointed it at Kim. "Stand down, now, that's an order." Kim looked at her in shock. "They just killed Foster and Cooper. They're hostile." "They're defending themselves," Martinez shouted. "We attacked first. We're in their prison." I could see my team fracturing. 6 who would follow orders and kill future humans, 6 who couldn't stomach genocide, and 15 GREYs caught in the middle, just trying to survive. The GREY leader approached me again, held out its hand, palm up. Another gesture I understood despite never seeing it before. A request, an offer. It wanted me to let them show me more, to share something important, something that might change everything. I took its hand. The vision was different this time. More intense, more detailed. I saw the wormhole event from their perspective. The terror of being ripped through time, the hope when they realized they'd made it to Earth's past. The slow horror as they realized they were trapped. The decades of imprisonment that followed. But then I saw something else, something the GREY wanted me to understand. The timeline, our timeline. How fragile it was. How killing them might not just be murder, but temporal catastrophe. They were part of our future, part of the evolutionary path that led to that beautiful Earth I'd seen. If they died here in the past, before they could contribute their knowledge, their genetics, their existence to the timeline, the future might change, might not happen. That paradise a million years from now might never exist. Killing them wasn't just genocide. It was temporal suicide. Erasing our own future because we were afraid of the truth. I broke the connection, looked at my team, at the divide that had formed. "We're not killing them," I said. "I don't care what command ordered. These are humans, our descendants, and they deserve freedom. Anyone who disagrees can report me when we get topside, but I'm done following orders that ask me to commit genocide." Reeves stood up, blood on her uniform from where Chen had tackled her. "You're committing treason, Captain. Disobeying direct orders, protecting hostile entities. They're not hostile, they're victims. And I'm protecting humans. That's my actual job." "Half this team agrees with me," Reeves said. She looked at Walsh, Jackson, Kim. "We follow orders, not our feelings. If you won't complete the mission, we will." Martinez, Chen, Hayes, Brown, and Moore moved to my side. 6 and 6, divided perfectly. Special Forces operators about to turn weapons on each other over a moral choice. And 15 future humans watching, understanding that their fate was about to be decided in the most brutal way possible. Civil war. Brother against brother. All because the government had spent 76 years lying about who the GREYS really were. For 10 seconds, nobody moved. 12 Special Forces operators divided into 2 groups, 6 and 6. All of us trained to kill, all of us armed, all of us facing teammates we'd served with. Friends, brothers and sisters in arms. And we were about to murder each other over future humans neither side fully understood. Lieutenant Reeves broke the silence. "Last chance, Captain. Stand down. Let us complete the mission. You and your people can be listed as psychologically compromised. Honorable discharge." medical retirement. But if you fight us, this ends in blood." "It's already ended in blood," I replied. "Foster and Cooper are dead. 2 Greys are dead. All because we couldn't have a conversation without violence. I'm done killing. You want to murder future humans? You'll have to go through me." Private Kim was shaking. "This is insane. We're fighting each other? Over aliens?" "They're not aliens," Martinez said. Her weapon was pointed at Kim, but her voice was pleading. "Danny, please, look at the DNA. Listen to what they showed you. They're us. From the future. We can't kill our own descendants." "They killed Foster!" Kim shouted. "They're dangerous. I don't care what their DNA says." The Grey leader moved, stepped between the 2 groups, raised both hands. Universal peace gesture. And I felt that telepathic pressure again. It was trying to communicate, trying to stop the violence before it started. But Walsh interpreted the movement as aggression. He fired. The bullet hit the Grey leader in the shoulder. It stumbled, cried out, and the other Greys responded instinctively. Defensive psychic pulses, not aimed, just panicked defense. The wave hit Jackson. He dropped. Brain hemorrhage, dead instantly. And the Civil War began. Chen tackled Walsh. Both of them went down, wrestling for Walsh's weapon. Hayes opened fire, not at GREYS, at Reeves' team. Warning shots, trying to suppress without killing. But Reeves returned fire. Real fire. Aimed to kill. The bullet caught Specialist Brown in the chest. He went down. Martinez rushed to him. Started trauma protocols. But I could see it was bad. Sucking chest wound, collapsed lung. "Rachel," I shouted to Specialist Moore. "Get the Greys out of here. Take them deeper. We'll hold here." Moore grabbed the Grey leader. Despite its shoulder wound, it moved. The other Greys followed. They fled deeper into Level 52, into the archives, trying to escape the firefight between humans deciding their fate. Kim came around the corner, saw Chen and Walsh still fighting, raised his weapon to shoot Chen. I fired first, hit Kim in the leg. He went down screaming. "I'm sorry," I shouted. But sorry didn't change that I'd just shot a teammate. A man I'd trained with, shared meals with, and now I'd put a bullet in his leg because we were on opposite sides of a moral divide. Reeves moved tactically, using filing cabinets as cover. She was trying to flank my position, get a clear shot. I could see her training, her precision. All those years of SEAL experience being used to kill Americans instead of enemies. Staff Sergeant Cooper had been her friend, her teammate, and I'd chosen GREYS over her. In her mind, I was the traitor, the enemy, the person who needed to be eliminated. She came around the corner fast. Professional, trained, weapon up, but Hayes saw her first. Fired. The bullet hit Reeves in the throat. She dropped, bleeding out, eyes wide with shock and betrayal. Hayes looked devastated. "Oh God! Sarah! Oh God! What have I done?" But there was no time for grief. Walsh had overpowered Chen, had his weapon up, was about to shoot Chen in the head. Martinez fired from her position over Brown's body, hit Walsh in the chest, center mass. He fell. 3 of Reeves's team down, Brown dying on our side. And the violence kept escalating. I heard boots, multiple sets, coming from the stairwell. Reinforcements. Command had received Reeves' emergency beacon before Chen knocked her radio away. Military police were coming. More soldiers who would follow orders without question. "We need to move," I shouted. "Now! Deeper into the facility. There has to be another way out." Chen grabbed Kim despite his leg wound, started dragging him. "We're not leaving anyone behind, even on the other side." Martinez shook her head over Brown. He's gone. I'm sorry. He's gone. We abandoned Brown's body. It felt wrong, leaving a fallen teammate. But we didn't have choice. The MPs were seconds away. We ran deeper into Level 52, through the archives, following the direction Moore and the GREYS had gone. Behind us, I heard the MPs arrive. Heard shouting. Commands to secure the area. Hunt for survivors. The archives gave way to tunnels, old tunnels. Original 1954 construction. These passages weren't on the official facility maps. Dr. Warren had mentioned that portions of the original complex had been sealed off when they expanded in the 1980s. Maybe these tunnels led somewhere. Maybe they were our only escape. We found Moore with the GREYS in a side chamber. She'd stopped the GREY leader's bleeding, used her medical supplies on a being that half our team had been trying to kill minutes ago. "How many did we lose?" she asked. "Brown, Reeves, Walsh, Jackson," I listed. "Kim's wounded but alive. We left him with the MPs. Cooper and Foster died earlier. That's 6 dead, half our team." The GREYS were clustered together, terrified, wounded. They'd watched humans kill each other over the question of their existence. Watched teammates murder teammates. And they understood. Understood that some humans valued orders more than morality, that we were capable of incredible violence even against our own. The GREY leader approached me again despite its injury. Showed me another vision. Telepathic communication. I saw the facility's layout, but not the official version. The real version. Including sealed sections. The GREYS had been here for 76 years. They knew passages that didn't exist on current maps. New escape routes. They could lead us out. Through the old tunnels. To the surface. To freedom. But we'd be fugitives, traitors, wanted by our own government for helping future humans escape their prison. "Can you get us out?" I asked the GREY leader aloud. It nodded. Human gesture. Learned from 76 years among us. Then it showed me something else. The cost of escape. Government would hunt us. Court-martial if caught. Prison. Maybe execution for treason. Our careers over. Our lives destroyed. All for helping beings most Americans didn't even know existed. But if we succeeded, the GREYS would be free. Free to hide. To live whatever life they could manage in the early 21st century. To wait for technology to advance enough that maybe someday they could build another wormhole. Get home to their own time. "We're going," I decided. "Chen, Hayes, Martinez, Moore, we're helping them escape. Anyone who wants to surrender, go back now. No judgment. This is going to end badly for us. We'll be criminals, wanted, hunted, but it's the right thing to do." Nobody moved toward the exit. "Guess we're all traitors now," Martinez said. She smiled grimly. "Might as well commit to it." We all followed the GREYS through the tunnels. They moved with certainty despite the darkness. Their large eyes adapted for low light. Evolution that gave them advantages in the underground facility where they'd been imprisoned. Behind us, I heard the search expanding. Military police calling out. Search patterns forming. They'd find us eventually if we didn't move fast. The tunnels ascended. We were climbing now, heading toward the surface. The GREYS led us through passages so narrow we had to crawl, through chambers with equipment from the 1950s. The original facility, the place where this nightmare had begun 76 years ago. We emerged into what looked like an old storage area, level 10, much higher than where we'd started. The GREYS had led us through a shortcut, a path they'd discovered decades ago during their imprisonment, but level 10 had activity. We heard voices. Scientists, facility personnel. We were back in the populated sections. One of the younger GREYS made a sound. Fear. It had been born here, in captivity, had never seen the outside world. For it, the facility was prison, but also home, the only life it had ever known. The Grey leader showed me another vision. Understanding. Gratitude. Whatever happened next, whether we escaped or died trying, the four of us had done something no human had done in 76 years. We'd chosen their freedom over our orders, their lives over our careers, their humanity over the lie. We moved carefully through Level 10, avoiding patrols. The facility was on full alert now. Lockdown protocols. Everyone searching for the escaped EBES and the compromised Special Forces team. Dr. Warren found us, stepped out from a side passage. I raised my weapon, but she raised her hands. "I'm not going to stop you," she said quietly. "I've been part of this program for 20 years. 20 years of lies, of torture, of pretending these were subjects instead of people. I can't undo what I've done, but I can help you escape." "Why?" Martinez asked. "Why help us now?" "Because I saw what they showed you. The visions, the future, that beautiful Earth. And I realized we've been studying the wrong thing. We've been trying to understand how they evolved. But what we should have been asking is, how do we get there? How do we become that?" And the answer was always right in front of us. Stop treating each other, even future versions, as enemies. Start showing mercy, compassion, evolution. Dr. Warren led us to a service elevator, freight system. It went straight to the surface, used for bringing supplies down into the facility. "This will take you topside," she explained. "There's a garage, vehicles, take one. Get at least 100 miles away before they organize a proper search." "They'll know you helped us," I said. "I know. I'll be arrested. Probably spend the rest of my life in a military prison, but at least I'll have done one right thing in 20 years of wrong ones." The elevator doors opened, large enough for all of us. 4 Special Forces operators, 13 GREYS, and Dr. Warren, who'd just chosen redemption over career. We ascended. The numbers counted up. Level 50, Level 40, Level 30, getting closer to surface, closer to freedom, closer to being hunted fugitives for the rest of our lives. At Level 5, the elevator slowed. Someone had called it. It was going to stop. "Get ready," I ordered. "If it's MPs, we fight our way through." The doors opened on Level 5, and standing there was Kim. Bandaged leg, leaning on a facility rail, and behind him, a full squad of military police with weapons raised. "I'm sorry, Captain," Kim said. "I really am, but I can't let you do this, can't let you commit treason." The MPs opened fire. Into the elevator. Bullets ricocheted off metal walls. We dropped, returned fire. The GREYS generated defensive psychic pulses. The lead MP's head snapped back. Hemorrhage. He fell. The other MPs pulled back, took cover. Professional response to overwhelming force, but it gave us seconds. "Close the doors," Martinez shouted. Dr. Warren hit the emergency override. The doors started closing, but not fast enough. The MPs were shooting through the gap, and one bullet found its target. Specialist Moore went down, hit in the chest. Arterial spray. She looked at me with confusion, like she couldn't understand how this had happened, how trying to save future humans had ended with her bleeding out in an elevator. Martinez grabbed her, started trauma protocols, but we both knew. Too much blood loss, too fast. Moore was dying. "Get them out," Moore whispered, blood on her lips. "Get them to freedom. Worth it." The doors closed. The elevator continued up, and Rachel Moore died in Martina's arms. The eighth and final casualty of our team. Half our squad dead because we couldn't agree on whether future humans deserved life. We burst onto the surface. Level 1. The garage Dr. Warren had mentioned. It was dawn, sunrise over the Nevada desert. Beautiful and terrible. First sunlight the younger Greys had ever seen. They stared, overwhelmed. This was the world their ancestors had known. The Earth before 1,000,000 years of evolution. The planet they'd only seen through cell windows. Vehicle, now, I ordered. We piled into a transport truck. Military, unmarked. Hayes hot-wired it. Started the engine. Chen manned the mounted weapon on the back. Martinez held Moore's body. Couldn't leave her behind. Wouldn't. The Greys clustered in the rear. Dr. Warren came with us. No going back now. She'd helped federal fugitives escape. She was as wanted as we were. We drove, fast, out of the garage, through the perimeter fence into the open desert. Behind us, alarms, sirens, the entire facility mobilizing. Attack helicopters appeared. Apaches, weapons hot, warning shots across our path, commands over loudspeaker to stop the vehicle. Surrender, return the EBEs. They're going to kill us, Hayes said. We're stealing classified assets. They'll shoot to stop us. The Grey leader touched my shoulder, showed me a vision. One last telepathic message. I saw them using their abilities, not just psychic pulses, other powers, evolved capabilities humans wouldn't develop for 1,000,000 years. They could help us escape, but it would cost them, drain their energy, maybe kill them. No, I said aloud. Don't sacrifice yourselves for us. We made this choice. We knew the cost. But the Grey leader shook its head. Human gesture. It had made its own choice. Humans had died protecting them. Moore, Brown. Time to return the favor. The Greys stood in the truck bed, all 13 of them, raised their hands together and generated something I'd never seen. A psychic shield, invisible but real. The helicopter's targeting systems went haywire. Missiles fired but curved away. Bullets stopped in midair. The Greys were bending reality itself. Using minds evolved over 1,000,000 years to protect the humans who'd chosen mercy over orders. But the effort was killing them. I could see it, their small bodies shaking, gray skin turning darker, blood from their noses and eyes, using abilities their bodies couldn't sustain in Earth's atmosphere. In this time period, with this level of gravity and oxygen. Stop! I shouted. You're dying! Stop! The Grey leader looked at me, and I understood. This was their choice, their decision. After 76 years of having no choice, no freedom, no control, they were choosing to save us, to repay the humans who'd seen them as people instead of experiments. 3 Greys collapsed, dead from the exertion. But the psychic shield held. The helicopters couldn't target us, couldn't fire accurately. We gained distance. We drove for 30 miles, into deep desert, far from roads or settlements, and finally the Greys lowered the shield, too exhausted to continue. 10 remained, 10 out of the original 15 who'd escaped. Alive because 4 Special Forces operators and 1 scientist had chosen conscience over career. We stopped the vehicle. Middle of nowhere. Just sand and sky and the morning sun. What now? Chen asked. We can't hide 13 Greys. Someone will find them, report them. The government will recapture them. The Grey leader approached me one final time. Showed me a vision I didn't want to see. They had technology we couldn't understand, salvaged over decades from equipment they'd hidden from their captors, and they could use it. One more time, to disappear. Not teleportation. Not quite. Something else. Dimensional shifting. Moving between the space our eyes could see and space that existed alongside it. They could become invisible to human perception. Not truly gone, just elsewhere. Living alongside humanity, but unseen. Unfound. "You're going to vanish?" Martinez asked. She'd been touching one of the younger Greys, comforting it. The Grey nodded. "Will we ever see you again?" I asked. The Grey leader showed me one more vision. The future. Not a million years, just decades. It showed me an older version of myself. Gray hair, retired, living in a desert town. And one night, looking up at stars, I'd see something. Someone. A Grey watching from the shadows, checking on the human who'd helped them escape. They wouldn't forget, wouldn't abandon us. They'd watch, guide, perhaps even help when the time was right, when humanity needed a push toward that beautiful future they'd shown me. The Greys gathered together, held hands. Their bodies began to shimmer, fade, not dying, shifting, moving into that space we couldn't see, where they'd be safe, hidden, free. The Grey leader was last. Before it faded, it touched my hand. One final telepathic message: thank you, for seeing us as human, for choosing mercy, for proving that humanity has the capacity to become what we are, that the future we showed you is possible. And then they were gone, vanished. 10 future humans somewhere on Earth but invisible to searching eyes. The 4 of us and Dr. Warren stood in the desert. Fugitives, traitors, wanted by our own government. 8 of our teammates dead, and nothing to show for it except the knowledge that we'd done the right thing. Military vehicles appeared on the horizon. They'd tracked us. We were surrounded. No escape. "What do we tell them?" Hayes asked. "The truth," I said. "We helped future humans escape from 76 years of torture. We chose humanity over orders, and we'd do it again." We were arrested, court-martialed. The trial was classified, closed to public, closed to press. Everything about Area 51 remained secret. We were offered deals, plead insanity, claim the Greys had psychically compromised us, accept medical discharge with benefits, keep the secret and walk away with our lives intact. All 4 of us refused. We told the truth, testified that the Greys were future humans, that the DNA proved it, that we'd chosen not to commit genocide, that we'd die before we followed orders to murder our own descendants. The military didn't like that, but they couldn't make it public, couldn't explain why 4 decorated Special Forces operators had gone rogue, couldn't reveal Area 51's real purpose. So they gave us other than honorable discharges. Not quite dishonorable, but enough to destroy our careers, end our military service, brand us as problems, failures, soldiers who couldn't follow orders. Dr. Warren got 20 years in military prison. She served 7 before being quietly released. Never spoke publicly about what she'd seen, what she'd done. But she knew she'd chosen redemption over career, and she had no regrets. The official story was sanitized. Training accident at classified facility. 8 soldiers killed, 4 others psychologically compromised. Equipment malfunction, tragedy, nothing more. The families of the 8 who died never learned the truth. Never knew their sons and daughters had died in a civil war over the fate of future humans. They thought it was just bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time. Classified operations gone wrong. And the Greys? Officially, they were all killed during the containment breach. All bodies recovered. All evidence destroyed. Project Aquarius terminated. Area 51 returned to mundane aircraft testing. Unofficially, 10 future humans were somewhere on Earth. Hidden, invisible, watching. I settled in Nevada, a small desert town, far from cities. Worked as a security consultant. Tried to build a normal life from the wreckage of my career. Martinez became a nurse, civilian medicine, saving lives the same way she'd tried to save lives in Area 51. She never talked about what happened, but I knew she had no regrets. Chen teaches martial arts now, kids' classes, self-defense for adults, building confidence instead of following orders. He's at peace with his choice. Hayes works construction, simple work, honest work. He carries guilt about killing Reeves, about the Civil War, but he knows he chose right. Chose humanity over genocide. We stay in contact, monthly calls, annual meetings, remembering the 8 who died, remembering the choice we made, remembering that somewhere out there, 10 future humans are alive because we refuse to murder them. And sometimes, just sometimes, I see things. Movement in the corner of my vision. Shapes that disappear when I look directly. People who seem almost human, but not quite right. 2 large eyes behind sunglasses. Skin tone slightly off. Movements slightly too graceful. I think they're watching. The GREYS, future humans hidden among us. Observing. Learning. Perhaps even guiding humanity toward that beautiful Earth they showed me. That paradise a million years from now where we survive and thrive and evolve. I don't know if we'll make it there. Don't know if the timeline is fixed or if our choices matter. Don't know if the future is predetermined or something we create with every decision. But I know this. On January 15, 2024, 12 Special Forces operators were given a choice. Kill future humans or save them. And we split. 6 chose orders. 6 chose mercy. And 8 died because of that divide. I chose mercy, and I'd choose it again every time. Because killing our descendants, regardless of how evolved they are, how different they look, how alien they seem, is still genocide, still murder, still wrong. The government says the GREYS never existed. That Area 51 is just an aircraft testing facility. That Roswell was a weather balloon. That time travel is impossible and evolution takes millions of years, and humans are the only intelligence on Earth. They're lying about all of it. The GREYS are real. They're future humans. They came through a wormhole in 1947. They were imprisoned for 76 years. And in 2024, 4 operators and 1 scientist helped them escape. And they're still out there. Somewhere. Watching us. Hoping we'll become the beautiful future they showed us. Hoping humanity will choose evolution over extinction. Peace over war. Mercy over orders. I think about that every day. About the choice we made. About the 8 who died. About the 10 who escaped. About the future that's possible if we make the right decisions. And I hope we do. Hope humanity survives. Hope we evolve. Hope that a million years from now, our descendants look back at 2024 and remember it as the year humans chose mercy. Chose to save their future selves, even when it cost them everything. Because that's what we did. We saved the future. At the cost of 8 lives, 4 careers, and everything we'd built. But we saved it. And somewhere out there, 10 future humans are alive. Watching. Waiting. Hoping that the humanity of 2024 will become the humanity they represent. I hope we don't disappoint them. Next time you see someone who looks almost human but not quite right, 2 large eyes, gray skin, movements that seem slightly off, don't panic. Don't report them. Don't fear them. They might not be from another planet. They might be from another time. They might be us, future us. trying to guide present us towards survival. And if they are, if you do see one of the Greys we helped escape, just know they're not hostile, not dangerous, just lost, trapped in our time, trying to live free after 76 years in a cage. We gave them that freedom. 8 died for it. 4 sacrificed everything for it. And I'd do it again. Because they're not aliens. They're human. And humans, regardless of when they're from, deserve freedom, deserve mercy, deserve life. That's what I learned in Area 51. That's the truth they don't want you to know. And now you know it too.